Where will the Hoosiers shake out when the College Football Playoff Committee makes their rankings tonight? And Penn State coming up this week. What to think about this game? It's going to be a tough one. Let's get into it.
Pretty simple. I win. Basketball is a way of life in Indiana that many people will never understand.
Hello, guys, and welcome to Indiana Sports Connection. I am your residential anchor, Aaron. Thank you so much for being here and being part of this community. This is where the most passionate fans that come to talk about Indiana Hoosiers football and basketball, which is coming up tomorrow night. Tell me, are you as mad about this Hulu, YouTube, TV, and ESPN dispute? It is annoying. I got a free trial on
Hulu for 3 days, so I can watch the College Football Playoff show tonight.
But this type of thing, these big companies that are fighting with each other, and you know, it's like we have no phone number to call. We have nowhere to call for this. In this episode today, we're going to take a look at a couple of clips of Curt Cignetti. We're going to talk about where Indiana is going to shake out in the College Football Playoff Committee rankings tonight. There may be a slight possibility they'll be at number 1, but they'll most likely probably be at number 2. But we'll just talk about all the teams, where Notre Dame and Miami. That's going to be depending on where Indiana's ranked. I'm not really that worried about that, but I am really kind of wondering like how many SEC teams they put in, how many Big Ten teams, probably 3 Big Ten teams, 4 SEC teams, 1 Big 12, 1 ACC, but we're going to talk about all that and then where Notre Dame, if they'll put them in the top 12 or what will happen with them. But this is Indiana Sports Connection. Hit that subscribe button down below across the country and across the globe, reaching Hoosier fans everywhere. Thank you so much for being with me and being part of this community. Leave your comments down below. I will have a giveaway at 3,500 subscribers, but I will be giving away another shirt from Home Field Apparel, a t-shirt at 3,500 subscribers, and we're trying to get to 5,000 subscribers before the new year. And at 4,000 subscribers, I do have a very special giveaway. It is a really magnificent sweater that I got from Rally House. So we're going to give that away at 4,000 subscribers. So hit that subscribe button down below. This next giveaway, I won't pick a comment, but I'll just, at 3,500, I'll pick 1 subscriber on that video. We are very close. I think we're like 50 away from 3,500.
Marijuana affects the memory.
3,500, yes. And we're on our way to 4,000, 5,000 and beyond. So jump in the rocket ship, do all that good stuff. I give 10% of the AdSense revenue on this channel to T2T.org. It is Veterans Week. This is really when I started doing this last year. But they are a great organization that gives houses to veterans and really gives them a life afterwards. Without the veterans, we are nothing. And yes, salute the veterans, because Veterans Week is coming up in the NFL. You'll see a lot of stuff about it. So keep them in your hearts and minds. Without further ado, let's get into talking about the Indiana Hoosiers. All right, Hillbilly Monkey, are you ready to talk about the Hoosiers? Are you ready to see where they're going to be placed in this polling position coming up? No pun intended.
Well, yeah, we're going to see where everybody shakes out in the top 12. I mean, this is the real first time you get a glance at how this is all going to shake out and how everybody's little team's going to try to cock their way in there if we're little pigs trying to get some milk.
That is. It's like 12 teams. They're all trying to get up there. There's only 12 little teats, so everyone's trying to get some milk. And not everybody can get some. You know, they're going to try to get Notre Dame a spot in there to get some, and some of the other teams too. So where's Indiana going to end up? I mean, here's what it says on ESPN. Yes, there is a case for Indiana to be number 1. I think they're going to be number 2. Here's what ESPN has to say about Ohio State, like why they could be lower. Yes, nothing's changed. Ohio State won it all. They're still number 1. They have a great roster. I know they have a great roster. Ohio State could be lower. Indiana has a better win by double digits at Oregon and is statistically comparable. The Hoosiers are number 2 total efficiency and ranked in the top 6 in both offensive and defensive efficiencies. Entering week 10, the committee also compares common opponents, and the Hoosiers had a historically large margin of victory against Illinois, although Ohio State also won against Illinois with ease. That is the case for Indiana, to be in the number 1 spot. I think they stay in the number 2 spot unless there are people on this committee. Who are the people on this committee that are going to be making these decisions? Hillbilly Mike, pull up these people so we can see their faces. I'm going to tell you, all these guys on this committee, just tell me the truth. They're all people. I don't have friends like this. I don't. I mean, do these guys sit around all day on Saturday? These guys that are in these suits, do they sit around all day like I do on Saturday and watch sports and college football and college basketball from literally sun up till sundown every single day? I don't think so. These guys in the suits don't do it. They need to put somebody like me on there. They need to put somebody, or like you, on there. Somebody real, you know? Not one of these flunkies. Let's look at all of them. Chris Alt, Troy Dannon. Sorry if this is your dad and I'm offending you. You don't have to have all these degrees and all this stuff to know what you're talking about when you're talking about watching ball on TV. You just got to have 2 eyes and 2 eyes and 1 mouth. I don't know where I'm going with that, but you do have to have 2 eyes, or else you're just listening to the radio. Then you're visualizing it, and maybe that's better. But I don't know who these committee members are. They're 13 experts that make this decision. We're just gonna see where it all shakes out. I think they're gonna surprise some people. I think it's always a little bit surprising. Where's the Big 12 and the ACC gonna shake out, and where's Notre Dame gonna end up? That's really what tonight. What you're gonna find out is where they see the value. They don't have the seeding anymore. So Indiana, like the 1 through 4, is not for like the conference winners anymore. So it's not going to be like last year. It was really just like a wonky thing, the way they'd show the seeding. Well, this person's put at 5, but they're really at 2 because of this division. That's gone. No more of that. So yeah, Indiana and Ohio State can be 1 and 2 in this poll. It's not like it was last year. So a lot of stuff to look forward to with that coming out tonight. And if you don't have ESPN, you can't watch it. I don't know. I thought about live streaming it, but I'm probably going to make a short about it right away after it comes out at 8 o'clock, because ESPN, they're going to do everything they can to try to get people to watch this show. They're going to massage this. This is probably going to go on for an hour. They're going to, string you along to try to get you to watch ESPN for an hour.
We know they're going to announce it at the very end.
We want to hear those tidbits about what the committee is saying about this team or this team. Because look, it's like a jury, of 13 of your peers. And these are not my peers. I don't know people like this. I don't know all these CEOs. If anybody from the College Football Playoff Committee wants to come on the show, this is your invitation right here. Text me at 863-397-3518. That's my real number. And come on the show. Tell me why you put Indiana at 2, whatever. Just tell me the honest truth, and we'll move on with our day. But I got a couple of clips of Curt Cignetti here that we're going to take a look at what he said. We got Penn State coming up this week. There's a lot of different things I think about this. Like Penn State, they're ranked so high early in the season. So they got some good players. They also have a lot of guys that sat out last week. I think like 18 players they had not play in the game last week. That's something to watch. Is there a case like where Penn State might have a lot of NFL talent on their team that doesn't want to get hurt and they're not playing in some of these games because Penn State's completely dropped the bucket of water? Penn State has never played. You think about this. They played the number 1 team last week. Then they played the number 2 team this week. Here's what I was thinking about. Penn State has not beaten a top 5 team in how long? They would love to get one over on Indiana and win this game and beat Indiana and stick it to them. So Indiana's going to have to be ready. Curt Cignetti, in this first clip, I just thought this was great. It's a short one, but he talks about the game and why you need to stay focused and why it's so important to keep that charted course that Curt Cignetti likes to map out for you. Hillbilly Monkey, let's roll that clip.
To play a lot of players. But obviously we've turned that page. And, everything in this game is earned, not given. And you got to earn it every single day. The game gives you nothing. You get out what you put in. And we got to really be sharp this week and have a great mindset.
That's right. The game gives you nothing. You got to give back to it. Whatever you put in is what you're going to get out. That's right. I love that. As, owning a grass mowing business where, look, you don't just people think you start a business, you just put up a sign. It's like, I'm open for business. Everybody come. No, you are out there every day fighting for jobs, fighting for your company, fighting for, to tell people why you are passionate about this and why you want to do this. That's how it really is. Like when you're doing anything that's hard, it's going to be that way. So I love that saying. It is. Whatever you put into it is what you're going to get out of it. And that's the way life is in general. It's just a good life lesson from the old Kurt Cignetti Meister there. But in this next clip, he talks about the injuries because we had some injuries to Surratt, Evans. He talks about a few of the different guys, what's going on with them. And we all want to know this leading up to this Penn State game. And not only that, but leading up to the Big Ten championship game and everything like that. We want this team to be cruising at full throttle and be really healthy heading into this playoff. It is so crucial at this point. I think that's the only thing that could derail Indiana would be injuries down the stretch. But Hillbilly Monkey, roll that clip about who is going to be playing this week on the Hoosiers.
Well, we'll know more on everyone as the week progresses. So we didn't really come out of that game with anything that we would call significant. The bumps and bruises that can occur during the course of a 12-game season. Aiden Fisher, we thought made really good progress toward the end of last week. Wasn't quite ready to go. Very optimistic on him. Elijah, we'll know more day to day. He's been dealing with something the last 2 weeks, but has been able to play. Had a little tweak of something else early in the game, and we got him out for precautionary reasons. Drew Evans will not be available this week.
So there you go. I mean, that was kind of surprising. Surratt, had been dealing with something for a week, and then that tightened up on him. So, maybe if they could get through this next game with Cooper, and he talked about that too, they're very flexible. So Cooper can play in Surratt's spot, and then they can filter in Brady, Charlie Becker, EJ Williams is still, a great target too. I don't know if Surratt, if it's not necessary for him to play in a game like this, or, some of these games down the stretch, maybe Wisconsin and Purdue, he won't be needed as much, but maybe he just has a light load this week, and because we are going to need him at full strength. Because when we play Ohio State, their wide receivers, they are going to score some points, and we're going to need Surratt to score some touchdowns, 1 or 2 against Ohio State on some big plays and some big back shoulder throws down the field. I mean, he's just become like a real beast out there. So I really want to see him be able to get out there. Drew Evans, not going to play, is out this week. And, I guess they'll see how he's going to be going from this point forward. And Aiden Fisher, I think, is a little bit sore. He's probably more trending towards playing this week because he was pretty close to playing in the game last week, too. So, and then this next clip, ask him about the quarterback. And I thought this was really interesting because some of these guys, I don't know as much about their background. It always amazes me the amount that Kurt Cignetti knows about the backgrounds of these players. This guy, something that's not talked about him as the coach of Indiana and what he's brought in is like his expertise. I mean, he's asked this question right off the bat about Gronkmeyer, and this is what he had to say about it. Hillbilly Monkey, let's roll that clip.
Have they changed anything? I mean, what have you seen from his game, and have they kind of tweaked or altered their offense at all, or are they pretty much still running what they were running before?
Yeah, I mean, I think week to week people are always morphing a little bit. And, this is a talented guy that was very highly recruited out of high school, set a lot of records in Ohio. He's tall, he can spin the ball. He moves well enough to get out of trouble. He's made some impressive throws. He can get out of his hand fast. And you can see with every series, every snap, he's improving and he's learning. He's a good player.
So, yeah, this dude, I didn't know who he was. Drew Aller, was supposed to be a top pick coming into this year, but this Gronkmeyer, he's getting his opportunity. I watched him against the game against Ohio State. I mean, I thought he was doing pretty good out there. So, I mean, for a guy that's barely played, I don't think he looked worse than Maryland's quarterback, but he looked pretty bad against Indiana. But Maryland's quarterback looked better in some other games. So, Indiana, they can't take this game lightly. Tell me, are you going out to Happy Valley? Tell me if you were making the trip out there. I might be going. I was looking at the tickets this morning, and I found some tickets down low for like $40. And I was thinking about going. It's about a almost 7-hour drive from here. But I was driving through Pennsylvania just a couple of weeks ago. If you go out there, it is beautiful driving through those mountains out there, like the Allegheny Mountains, when you're on your way to New Jersey, going through that area. It is beautiful in that area. It's a tough place to get to, but yeah, just last week when I was driving through there, absolutely gorgeous drive. But Hillbilly Monkey, what do you think about this Penn State game coming up, and where do you think the Hoosiers are going to rank in the college football playoff rankings tonight?
Carved from the sands of the Wabash River and formed into a monkey lamp that's sold at Home Goods. It's the Hillbilly Monkey Perspective on Indiana Sports Connection.
Well, I'm happy to Kurt Cignetti. He's given them a lot of respect, and he's given everybody a lot of respect this year. You can't underestimate these opponents. You can't underestimate anything at this point in the year, in the season, when you got that target on your back like Indiana's gonna have, like from the rest of this year and heading into next year. Teams are like Penn State at home you are the enemy of them, and you got to know that. Give them a lot of respect. They got a great fan base, doing all the things right, but the bottom line is Indiana's got to go in there and kick their ass. And as far as the college football playoff committee, I don't care about those guys at all. Indiana, they just got to go 1-0 every week and win all the rest of these games.
That is right. They just got to go 1-0 every week and win the rest of these games, and they should be able to do that. It's Penn State, it's Wisconsin, it's Purdue, and then it's to Ohio State. And look, Indiana's looked so good this whole year, and they've not lost focus. I don't see it happening against Penn State. And let me know if you're going out to the game out there. I would love to meet up with you. If you see a red shirt and a sea of white shirts, it will probably be me or you or somebody else. But thank you so much for joining me on this episode today of Indiana Sports Connection. It's a great time to be a Hoosier fan. And we got basketball coming up tomorrow night. We'll be talking about that. I may live stream through the basketball game. We'll see how it goes, or I may go to the basketball game. I'm still thinking about that because there are cheap tickets to this basketball game too. If you want to see Darren DeVries and the team up close and take your kids to it or something like that, this would be a good one to go to before it gets all crazy with like the holidays and everything like that. So thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Indiana Sports Connection. Until next time, stay classy out there, Hoosier fans.